Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the Balanced Blonde podcast, Soul on Fire. I am recording this super late at night because I just finished recording this episode with my fabulous husband, Jonathan Albrecht. I cannot believe I am now Jordan Albrecht. Oh my God. Hudson's climbing all over Jonathan right now. Is the cutest thing I've ever seen. Tonight is my last night at home before I head off into my water fast for Lyme. If you're more interested in water fasting, if you want to hear more about it, check out my recent solo episode about my last water fast. By the time this comes out, I'll either be done with the fast or I'll still be there. So TBD on that, but I'm getting ahead on the podcast for that reason. So I'm super happy to have my husband back on the show today. He's been on the podcast, I believe, I want to say 4 times previously in the last 4 years. And every time it's kind of an effort to get him on because he lives a private life and he likes to kind of stay behind the scenes and out of the limelight. So it's funny because we recorded an episode back in December about our wedding and we both just didn't absolutely love it. So we decided to re-record it. We re-recorded it and I was about to release it when I realized it was literally gone from my computer, which was a huge accident. And it was just deleted in like a whole spring of things that I deleted when my computer almost crashed. So that was a huge bummer. And we just mutually decided that instead of re-recording about our wedding for the 3rd time, clearly there was something the universe was trying to tell us about that. For now, that we would just do an episode talking about quarantine life, relationships, work, things that we've learned about each other, and overall just an updated conversation with Jonathan. We really touched on a whole lot of things from reality television to the things that we've been doing during quarantine to TikTok. We've been on TikTok. It's been fun. We talk about Jonathan's plant-based journey as he went vegan in January, and he talks about that in this episode and gives some tips about that. We talk about his celebrity crushes and so much more. So this is really just a lighthearted conversation, but also I'm so happy to share my husband with you guys and brag about him a little bit because he is such a hard worker. He works for Orange Theory Fitness, as many of you may know, many of you may not know. And obviously right now during quarantine and with everything going on with Corona, the fitness industry has taken a huge hit. So I know even people in our own lives are asking me every day, what's going on with Orange Theory? What's going on with Jonathan's job? So we get into that in this episode. And Jonathan, he teaches me so much on the daily about business and running a business and leading a team. He's such a good leader. And he's in the other room just smiling at me right now. He really is. And so he goes into detail in this episode. He even used a few words that I had never heard of. And I was like, excuse me, I know a lot of vocabulary, but what are you talking about? So I think maybe he'll teach you guys a thing or two. And yeah, it's really just a chat. And I know a lot of you have been saying to me on Instagram and in other places that you wanted Jonathan back on just to kind of hear our relationship now that we've been married and all the good things. So I hope you enjoy. My husband is the generator to my reflector. Shout out to Human Design. He's the Leo to my Libra. He is the calm to my crazy. He's the, what else are you, Jonathan? What? He's saying, we get it. No, I'm trying to think of more things. He is the no evil vegan sausage to my kale salad. And so much more. I'm a little delusional. It's really late over here, but this was a really fun episode. And before we get into it, just wanted to thank everybody for being here, for listening, and remind you that you can join our Soul on Fire podcast tribe on Facebook to keep the conversation going. And if you feel inspired to rate and review the show, I have a free gift that I send out to everyone who rates and reviews. So you can send me a screenshot of that to jordan@thebalancedblonde.com. And lastly, before we dive into the episode, thank you to our incredible sponsor, Go Macro. I could talk about Go Macro for days. Literally, Go Macro is my favorite vegan protein bar. We gave them out in our wedding gift bags, which I always say because just that's how much we love them. Go Macro is also the only thing that I ate on our wedding day because it doesn't bother my stomach. And for a girl with sensitive stomach issues, that is a huge deal. And then probably my favorite thing about Go Macro right now and always is that for the month of May, they are donating 10% of their proceeds from their peanut butter macro bar to Farm Sanctuary. And Farm Sanctuary is one of the nation's largest animal sanctuaries. They've rescued thousands of animals and have cared for them at their sanctuaries in New York and California. They're committed to ending cruelty to farm animals by promoting compassionate vegan living through rescue education and advocacy. So, given that my dream one day is to own an animal sanctuary, which I should probably have said in this episode because we were talking about our life in 20 years, but whatever, I can say more of that in the future. I am so happy about Go Macro's efforts to support Farm Sanctuary, support the animals and the plant-based life. You should also know you can use the code BLONDE for 30% off all Go Macro products plus free shipping. All you have to do is go to gomacro.com and use the promo code BLONDE for 30% off plus free shipping and get their peanut butter Go Macro bar to support Farm Sanctuary. It is so delicious, you guys. It's made with crunchy roasted peanuts and Go Macro's very own melt in your mouth peanut butter chips. They taste delicious. They support the animals. They're amazing. They are also a mother-daughter owned company based in a rural community. Their mission is to spread awareness for a balanced plant-based life with products that have a positive effect on the world. So why not support them? They're the best. Go to gomacro.com, use the code BLONDE for 30% off plus free shipping. And now let's dive into this episode with my husband. All right, we are here. We are starting. I'm here with my husband.
What's up?
The fabulous Jonathan Albrecht. My husband of 6 months. Can you believe that?
It's been a fast 6 months. Crazy 6 months.
It's been an interesting 6 months, that's for sure.
Great for newlyweds.
Great for newlyweds. We've been home. We've been loving life together. It's been very interesting. And that's what we're here to talk about today. So I wanted to record somewhat of a quarantine episode with Jonathan. Given that we recorded 2 separate episodes about our wedding that for 2 separate reasons are not making it to the air. So instead of re-recording a wedding episode for the 3rd time, I thought it would be fun to do an episode with him to just talk about life and quarantine and relationships and the things that we've learned. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it has been wild. And I think for many, quarantine brings out the true colors in a relationship. And I just am lucky that we have a great foundation built on really strong communication. And I could tell you, I just don't want you to talk to me for 12 hours because I just need to be on like the other end of the apartment and watching,
Boardwalk
shoot 'em up
Empire.
movies, and you can take a bath and do your own thing.
And I can take a nice 6-hour bath as I do and watch some Keeping Up with the Kardashians and call it a day.
Well, if I have learned one thing over quarantine, it's that Keeping Up with the Kardashians is actually not that bad of a show.
Yes. Oh my God. That is literally music to my ears. So if we can start off with a fun question for you. Who is your favorite Kardashian / Jenner?
Was this written down?
It doesn't need to be written down. It's been in my mind.
That is hilarious. So for those who don't know, I grew up in Calabasas, and every time people would ask me where I was from, I would say I'm from Calabasas, but I've been living there before the Kardashians kind of made it what it is. I had never seen the show. I actually really disliked the Kardashians because of the reputation they brought to Calabasas. So I've been anti my whole life. And during quarantine, Jordan loves this show. I ended up watching an episode because Kanye was in it. And it's fascinating. And I'm like, oh my God, no, it's taking over. And here I am now, and I'm a fan.
Yes.
A fan of the show.
The best thing ever. So who's your favorite?
It's a tie.
Okay.
Chris.
Of course.
And Chloe.
Love Chloe. Chloe's awesome.
Yeah, the both of them are funny.
They are. I feel like Chloe is the most down-to-earth sister, and Chris is just amazing. She's an amazing mom. She's an amazing manager. Jonathan gets it. He gets it. Yeah, so tips for all the girls out there, if you're trying to get your boyfriend or husband to watch the Kardashians, just start them with a couple Kanye episodes, Kanye-heavy episodes.
That, or, be in a quarantine with them and you've watched everything else.
Literally. So that brings me to my next reality TV related question, and then we'll move on from reality TV.
Okay, great.
Who is your favorite Real Housewife of Beverly Hills?
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So there's Lisa.
Rinna.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Kyle.
Uh-huh. You guys, he's so good.
Denise. I don't know who are the rest?
Dorit, who
we
saw at Erewhon. Mostly you saw, and I had to whip my head around super fast, and I missed out on seeing her, but we were there at the same time. Well, Kim isn't in it anymore, but you know Kim.
Oh, Kim, crazy Kim.
Yeah, Kim's a little crazy, but I love her.
Kim, hands down.
Kim's
not
my
your
favorite. You didn't even like when she was on.
She's the most entertaining.
I thought Dorit was your favorite.
I mean, Dorit's the prettiest.
True. And we are also forgetting about your actual favorite, Erica.
Oh, Erica's great. Erica's number one.
So awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody listening, if you guys also watch Real Housewives, you have to let us know who your favorites are. Because Jonathan has this thing where he actually sees them everywhere. And it's so funny because I'm the fan of the show. And so he just ends up watching it. And he has seen Kyle. He's seen Lisa Rinna. He's seen Kim, Denise, and Dorit.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah.
So fun.
And Aaron.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Oh, yeah. You saw him.
Denise was with Aaron. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Aaron's been interesting on this season so far.
So it's a joke because I just started watching it, but for some reason I'll be at the airport and I'll see them, or I'll see them at Alfred or whatever, and I'll take a photo and I'll send it to Jordan or Mom, and they're like, "I don't understand how you see them."
We get so jealous.
Yeah, it's weird.
Jonathan's like a magnet. You're just very observant, also, which is a very good quality.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yes. So all the other couples out there in quarantine, if you're watching reality TV and you've converted your husband over to all the good shows, that's us too. We're loving it.
Well, have I converted you over to any shows?
You've converted me over to comedy.
That's true.
And
stand-up comedy.
I was never a stand-up person. I hated watching comedy. I thought it was boring. I thought it was usually...
But you probably never watched it before.
I had watched it because I had dated other people who were into it as well. And I always thought it was just offensive and crude. Not really offensive to me, but just this stuff is not funny to me. And then we started watching Chris D'Elia,
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr is funny. Who's that guy?
Tom Segura.
Who's the guy who's a dad?
Oh, Bob Biglia?
Yeah, Mike Birbiglia.
Mike Birbiglia.
Yeah, so I'm the name person.
Yeah.
Jonathan always like confidently thinks he knows somebody's name, but not quite.
I said Bob Birbiglia, and I knew that his last name had like
all of those letters.
It was just
he's funny. If anybody's looking for
spaghettios of letters in his last name.
Yeah, some good comedians. Mike Birbiglia tells funny jokes about being a dad, being a husband.
I saved your best friend's life.
Oh my God. I saved your best friend's life. Our favorite line. You guys will get it if you watch his Netflix special. But Chris D'Elia, nobody tops him. He is so
He is
funny.
hilarious.
If Chris is out there, if anyone knows him, we need to get him on this podcast.
Good luck.
You can co-host.
Good luck.
Because I wouldn't know what to say to such an amazing, hilarious comedian.
I mean, you wouldn't have to say anything. Just show him your resume and he would just pick you apart.
What do you mean?
He would just find ways to make fun of you. And you would be like a puddle of soup.
A puddle of soup.
By the end of that.
I think I could handle it. He is so funny. If anybody
you like
could
physical
roast
comedy.
Me, yes.
Jordan's a fan of like moving your hands and, you know, the facial expressions, the different voices, very
physical, tangible, theatrical. Well, that makes sense.
And Chris kills that.
Given that I've been a theater person.
Yeah.
Oh, that brings me to another good question for you. Switching subjects a little bit. So, for all the couples who are out there in quarantine, if their wife or girlfriend gets into a bad mood or just isn't feeling very well, what would be a tip that you have to make her feel better?
Wow, that's like a 180 from where we just were.
Well,
we were on like the bus stop and it's like this stop, Chris D'Elia, and then like next stop, like what?
Well, you'll see why. And it's because one of the answers that I think you're going to say is related to theatrics.
Oh, you teed me up.
I did.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got that.
I helped you out. But you do this for me.
I do.
When I'm in a bad mood.
Yeah, so there are certain things that no matter what, make Jordan happy. And conversely, like if I'm ever in a bad mood, just put on a Jason Bourne movie and like I'll instantly probably be in a good mood. For Jordan, it is Wicked, the soundtrack.
Yes.
And I've never seen a Broadway show until Jordan and I went to New York for the first time. I've never been to a show. I'm not a show guy. I don't like theater. Like none of that. I grew up with one brother, so we never, like neither one of us ever like did anything theatrical. You know, we watched every gun movie from 1960 to today. And just, you know, the complete opposite. So when Jordan is in a bad mood, I'll just like put on the Wicked soundtrack and she just immediately gets happy. It's incredible.
I immediately light up. Yeah. And that goes for several Broadway shows, just so we're clear. Wicked, Aida, which I don't even think you know, but Aida is...
But Madonna was in it.
No, Madonna was not in Aida. That I know of. Wait.
Wasn't it a movie?
Aida? Oh, you're thinking of Evita.
Oh, Evita.
Which I also was super into.
Was that Madonna though?
I don't know.
Am I wrong?
Should we just Google it really quick? Let's Google it.
I just want people to laugh at me.
You guys, on the please just laugh at Jonathan. He's so funny. I'm typing Evita Madonna into Google. Yeah, she was in it.
Oh, cool.
1996.
Boom.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Yeah.
The truth is,
no,
I've never lost you.
Left you.
Oh, well, I was 6 when
even
this came
I
out.
know that.
Wait, seriously? Now I feel like I have to look up the lyrics.
I'm 1 for 1. I'm going 2 for 2. I feel confident.
So
while you're teeing up that L for you, I'm going to answer your question again. What other things do I do to bring you out of a bad mood? Let's see. Well, I'll rub your shoulders. That never seems to fail.
With our new Hypervolt.
Yes.
That thing is awesome.
Yeah, the Hypervolt's incredible.
It feels like an actual massage, which is so nice.
Are you looking up the lyrics?
I am. Did you say that it was left you?
Yes.
You're right. The truth is I'd never left you. Okay, so he's right. Wicked, number 1. Aida, number 2. And I feel like I'm also forgetting one, but that's
Rent.
okay. Oh my God, yes.
Oh,
how?
God, I'm on one tonight.
I know, it's 9:36.
It's very rare that I am shooting better than Jordan from the field.
It's true. I mean, that's kind of like, how did I forget how much I love Rent? And we watched the movie Rent not that long ago.
I never saw that movie.
I think you slept through the whole thing.
Like the opening
we watched
scene?
It.
I don't remember one scene from that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you were with me.
Yeah,
or did I watch it by myself?
Maybe I was a little
never watch movies by myself.
Tired.
A little something. A little something. A little what Mauricio in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills
I was
is
a little
in every
Mauricio'd.
episode. You and Mauricio are one and the same. It's my favorite.
Well, I can't wait to take a photo with him when I see him at our Studio City office.
Yeah, you guys are right across the street from the agency.
We're right next door.
That's so cool. And you're also right by our favorite restaurant, Sun Cafe.
Yeah,
right?
Well,
Pretty
a little
close.
Further, but yes.
But much closer than we live to it. So you can bring me home some Sun Cafe salads.
Of course.
Some Sun Cafe raw cheesecakes.
Yeah.
Raw vegan cheesecake.
You just say their whole menu. I'll bring all of it.
Raw vegan almond butter cheesecake is so good.
What's your next question? I'm so curious.
Jonathan is the king subject changer, just so everybody knows. If we're talking about something that he doesn't want to talk about, my mom and I, we can tell you, he will just like 180 the conversation. So have you guys seen that lemon tree?
If a conversation has there's no direction, and you're going down the rabbit's hole of a restaurant in Studio City's menu, then yeah, I'm going to change the subject.
Okay. So we can thank you for that. So since we're talking about vegan restaurants, I want to talk about what it's like being vegan because you went fully plant-based in January, for everyone who doesn't know. And I'm just curious to talk about what's it been like for you. What would be your tips to other people who want to transition their husbands or boyfriends to being vegan? What's the plant-based life like for you?
Well, I give you credit for informing me, but ultimately it was my decision. And if I wanted to go out tonight and have a steak, I could. I'm not doing this for you. So, I wouldn't say that you need to convert people. I think that they just need to inform themselves. And if that's something that they want to do, they're going to do it. For me, it was watching a couple documentaries and realizing that, poultry isn't good. So I just went to fish and I was pescatarian and occasionally would eat a steak, maybe 3 or 4 times a year, and that and fish. So it was like, can I take out the meat? That was easy. And then it's like, all I have to do is take out the fish now. And then I'm vegan. And I really could care less about fish. I like it. I would kill for sushi. It's good. But we don't eat meat at the house. So, just not going out to sushi is really the only thing holding me up from
and you can
being
still have
vegan
vegan
or not.
Sushi.
Yeah.
I know it's not the same, but it is an option.
Yeah.
So what were those documentaries that helped convert you? Actually, I should stop using the word convert.
The one that you don't like.
Which is the one that I don't like?
That converted a lot of people.
Oh, What the Health.
What the Health.
I don't not like What the Health. I just think it's a little... There's certain parts of it that are not 100% accurate. So it's caused a lot of controversy.
So what the Health for me, immediately, just because I would blind myself from really what's happening in the poultry industry. And they really show it in that documentary, as I'm sure they probably show it in a lot of vegan documentaries. I had just never seen one before. So it was the first time I had really seen what was going on behind the scenes, and it's kind of gross. So I was like, you know what? It's pretty easy for me to cut that out. And, if it's a nice organic grass-fed Kobe beef or something like super high-end and not your mainstream red meat, then every once in a while, if I indulged in that, it was delicious. And, I still love a good steak. I will always love a good steak. Not going to deny its deliciousness. But cutting that out wasn't that, that difficult for me. Yeah, I could go one way or the other. It's pretty easy for me to kind of switch from doing something to not doing something.
That's true.
The attachment to it. So.
You're a big challenge person.
And there's so many amazing vegan options now that I don't think I would have been able to have done it 3 years ago.
For sure.
Even just within the last 3 years. The game changers for me are Parmela Farms cheese. Like it tastes exactly like cheese.
Good. It's so
I make
good.
quesadillas and nachos like every single day with a big tub of guacamole.
That's your daily go-to.
If anyone knows me, there's a 90% chance I have Siete no salt chips with a tub of guacamole from Whole Foods.
A literal tub.
Yeah.
That is one meal for you. No evil sausage.
No evil sausage.
Jam.
Which, if you're putting it in the skillet, and the way it cooks, it tastes just like a sausage. Like it's really good.
That's the pretty incredible thing. And did you mention the documentary, The Game Changers?
Game Changers was incredible.
Huge for you. And for any athlete, any male, I think that is a game-changing, documentary. And it was that. I think that one was big for you. And
that one was like November 19. Though.
Yeah.
So it was. It definitely came at a really good time. I feel like but that one just made that one the big shift for me, because in the United States, and especially with males growing up, like you do your workout and within 30 minutes you have your protein shake. Like,
right.
In order to bulk up, you have your protein shake. And if you're feeling whatever, it's have a protein shake. And I think the stigma and understanding and science behind what protein is and where it comes from was a big eye opener for me, because it's not all about protein. And, even knowing that there are people in my life, like they will watch that and be convinced of it, but they still will go on and they've been programmed to have that high protein. They still believe it. It's
think about even our family members, like the amount of people in my family who say to me, I saw The Game Changers. I am not going to keep eating meat. There's no way. But I just had a double hamburger tonight because I'm like saying goodbye to it. And it's actually just too hard to change at this point. I think that's how a lot of people feel.
Yeah.
Because they get so used to a certain way. And I think my whole thing is I don't think people know how good they can actually feel. And also, I really like what you said about the fact that you didn't go vegan for me, because I think that a lot of people think that you did. And
well, if they think that, it's because you are all over social media. Like my vegan husband. Okay. I got myself a vegan husband. Like what the fuck? I got myself
a vegan husband, but I have never said. Okay, I'm allowed to brag about the fact that I think I inspired you because you've seen me for all these years and the way that I eat and how good I feel. And I definitely turned you into a no salt person.
Yes, you did.
But I like that you mentioned that.
But that's easy because I'm easy and you just don't allow us to have salt in the house.
But now,
and I never cooked with salt really anyway.
True,
so.
But now when you eat something that's salty, you notice it and you're like, that's so salty. I hated that.
That is true. You skewed my
your taste buds.
My taste buds.
But what I was trying to say is that I think leading by example for anyone out there who is vegan or plant-based and wants their significant other to be more interested. If you just lead by example, like turn on the documentaries and buy the healthy food
just
for the
watch
house.
What the Health and Game Changers.
And Game Changers.
And sure. Buy No Evil sausage and Parmela Farms cheese.
And Siete tortillas.
And don't tell them that it's not real. And right. I'd be surprised if you dress it up if they even notice.
Totally. So the other part of that question is, how are you feeling now? So you went vegan for, I don't know, because you like to do different challenges, but health-wise, how does your body feel?
I mean, it feels great. I have a hard time thinking about where my body was before and then and then where it is now and comparing the two. So I think for me, from the time I was in college to now has just been an evolution of getting healthier and healthier. When I turned 30, I said, I'm never going to eat processed sugar again. I made this bold statement. And then 363 days out of the year, I would not eat processed sugar, but maybe 1 or 2 days out of the year, I would just buy a giant bag of Sour Patch Kids because that was my fix. And, that was turning 30 and now I'm 33. Yep. And now I don't have any processed sugar at all. Haven't for probably a year. And what is it?
Smart Sweets.
Smart Sweets. Oh my fuck. Those are the best. I'm addicted.
You guys, I found him.
They're my sour fix.
They're like your Sour Patch Kid fix. I found him on our patio this afternoon, passed out, shirtless, in the sun, sweating, with empty bags of Smart Sweets all over your chair.
Yeah, it's Saturday.
Right. And you had just worked out super hard. You did the sauna. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm so happy that you found a sugar-free vegan candy that you're obsessed with.
Well, I would imagine all candy is vegan.
Well, whatever. I just like to say it.
I know you do.
But I don't think all candy is vegan.
Oh, because gelatin.
Taffy? Doesn't that have milk in it?
I don't know.
Do you not know what taffy is?
I know what it looks like. I know what it looks like.
I'm going to have to look up the ingredients and get back to everybody. There was a place in Sacramento, in Old Town Sacramento, that had this amazing old candy shop with 100 different flavors of taffy. And I would go in there when I was little and I would get to pick a whole bag of peanut butter taffy, chocolate taffy.
No way.
It is so good. I don't know if it's vegan, but it's definitely not sugar-free.
So back to your question.
Yes, Mr.
Just taking the car. Just taking the car, just putting it back on the road there.
Welcome to our life, everybody.
Well, sometimes I need to get you back on the road.
It's true. Okay, so back to the question. How's your body feeling?
I think just my body has progressively refined its palate. And I've just become more educated on what food really is. And it's an energy source. And, I'm a big car guy, as you know.
Yes, I do.
But, if you got to put good stuff. You got to put the 91 in your car. And if you're planning on keeping that car forever, and we don't really get the choice to, get a new car. This is our car for the rest of our life. So
our body is our temple.
So I would say that being around you, just surrounding myself with you in my life, your beautiful outlook, the compassion and love that you have for animals, the sanctuary. What is it?
The farm sanctuary.
The farm sanctuary.
Our Sleepy Pig Farm.
The Sleepy Pig Farm. It's just little things like that where you gave me the tools, really, and you brought me right to the edge of the cliff, and then maybe just gave me a little bit of a nudge.
Tapped you a little.
Just a little tap over. But I'm happy I did.
I'm happy you did too. It's one of my favorite things about you. And I love being vegan with you. We've had so much fun cooking together. It's been awesome.
It has been.
And you also happen to be a huge animal lover. So do you like that part of it too?
I do.
I mean, I think that's such a huge benefit of being vegan. And if you're eating this way already, it's just nice to know that you're not harming any animals.
Yeah.
Well, I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Peppa.
So you're feeling good. You're feeling good. You're looking good. You're working out daily during quarantine.
I think it's really interesting. There are people during quarantine that have no problem at all working out every single day, like me.
Mm-hmm.
Yet when I'm working and I have to go into the office and our headquarters is right above a studio,
Orange Theory Fitness,
I don't even go down there but once a week to work out.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe it's just the idea of like, I'm going to be sweaty and then I have to it's just different when it's not home.
I get that.
So
okay.
I've been working out like every single day. And I think just something else that's interesting about quarantine, there are people who work out like every single day and they're not really on the same regimen.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't get as motivated or inspired in this environment.
Because people have just been thrown off their routine.
Yeah.
So if your routine was good to go to a studio every day, people like our good friend Alexi, who would go to Orange Theory every single day, and that was her routine for like 6 years, that is a huge throw off.
Yeah.
So she's been running. She has no problem staying motivated. She motivates me. But I can see how if you had that routine every day, it could be really off-putting. You wouldn't even know how to begin working out at home. But my theory about fitness during quarantine and why some people like you have been so motivated is because you don't have to leave. Like you're just home. So I think it helps you break up your day. And I think people are realizing that something that those of us who have worked from home for a long time have known is that it's so positive to be able to break up your workday with different things. So even if it's like 12 o'clock doing a workout, it doesn't mean that you're not working hard. It just means you're giving yourself a break and we're realizing what's important in life. That's what I think.
Yeah, there's that. I think something else that's really interesting that I've noticed about the human psyche, those that thrive in an environment where it's go, 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 and there's a lot that's happening, and then you go into an environment where it's the complete opposite. I think the social interaction of just being around people for certain people is one of the biggest motivators and drivers for them. It's weird, but just the idea of being seen, not from in a narcissistic way, just being seen, the self-care routine of getting ready and being presentable and going out, that's like coffee to a lot of people. And that's what gets them jacked up, like to do their job, is those meetings, those in-persons, those collaborative, like one-on-ones with human interaction. And then there are people like myself who I guess don't need that as much. You know, I'm okay with getting my fix from a Zoom meeting or a phone call.
Right.
So,
well, same here, 100%. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So that could be very off-putting for some people. So during quarantine, we've been learning to work from home together, separate rooms, figuring it all out. So what would you say you've learned about us as a couple during quarantine? And what have you learned about your wife?
Great question. So we have a beautiful 2-bedroom apartment, and I have found that what works is to work from the office in the building.
Yeah. So we have an office across the hall from our apartment that typically is for our building manager, but she's not here right now.
Not
well,
at
it's
all.
for everybody, but I mean, she works in there. I'm just saying, it's not like you're working with other people.
Yeah, there's like a WeWork type space in our building where they have, 3 or 4 desks, a place to sit, like a lounge. They have a conference room if you wanted to host a meeting. And then there's also our leasing agent's like office. So they have a coffee machine. And originally, I was just going to work from our apartment. And when I wake up, I'm up at like 5:36, 6:30 at the latest. I'm ready to go by like 7:15, and I want to start right away. And if I can't make phone calls and I have to worry about the sound of, me typing or anything because I'm in the room next door, it's challenging. So I find myself like tiptoeing.
I think what Jonathan's trying to say is that I do not wake up as early. I am on a totally different schedule.
Yes.
I wake up a little bit later than him. You can't make a whole lot of noise.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for getting to the point there. What it comes down to is timing. So if I'm used to waking up at 6:30 and starting at 7 and she doesn't wake up until 9, which means I can't really make noise till like 9:30 or even 10 sometimes, that's a difficult work environment to thrive in. So for me, it was getting out of here, and thank God we have the communal office for the building.
Thank God.
Thank God. Otherwise, like I'd be working on our balcony with
which
like
is
a
also
sweatshirt,
not bad.
Which I did for a while.
It's true.
If you think about it, we have a 2-bedroom and a nice sized living room, and I can't.
And you work in the office. But the thing I've noticed about you is like you kind of do it differently day by day. Like Wednesday, you'll be in the office. Thursday, you'll be working from our actual office room in our apartment. I think you do it differently depending on how you're feeling.
No, I think it's dependent on what phone calls I have in the morning.
True. So Jonathan's job is a lot of phone calls. That's something I've learned about you in this quarantine. Like, my God, there's a lot of phone calls in your line of work. And I am not a big phone call girl, especially with work.
I'm glad you're actually seeing me work.
I know.
Because when I'm in the office,
I've always known how hard you work.
When I'm in the office and you're like, you didn't text me back for like an hour and a half, I'm either not on my phone, like looking at it, or I'm on a phone call.
I'm pretty sure I don't say you didn't text me back for an hour and a half. I would say you didn't text me back all day,
yeah.
You asshole.
You know what I love? That coworkers also will say the same thing. So that it's not just you. Like, I don't like bang your calls.
I've never thought it was just me. that would be a problem.
But I am on the phone a lot.
You are. And it is nice. It's actually, I think it's really nice to see you working and to see each other working, because it has given me a whole new respect for how much energy you give to people all day, because you really give a lot of energy. Like, you'll have back-to-back phone calls and Zoom meetings from like 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. I do not have that kind of energy to give to others. Like, if I had 2 phone calls in a day, I would start sobbing. So I know. That's just who I am. I'm a reflector. I'm a Libra. And luckily, I can do a lot of what I do from the computer, just me. So yeah, it's been cool to see that with you. So then what have you learned about me?
Well, it's been cool to see it with you too. I think that I know what you do. I know how hard you work because I see the result, and the result looks effortless, which obviously means it was the complete opposite. And how much time and energy you put into your craft. And it's impressive. You go hard. You get a lot in each day, and you're managing a lot and on a bunch of different platforms, and it's essentially you with very little help. And I'm excited that you are bringing on some additional help to your team. So,
me too.
It's going to be a good year for you, and you're just doing what you do. Like you are just being yourself. You juice. So you're using products that speak to you. Like everything about you is literally just you as a person and brands that you vibe with. So it's incredible. It's fun to watch. And I'm fortunate that I get the hookup on all that shit.
You guys should see Jonathan. Like he'll complain from like in the beginning, like, oh, we don't have space for a sauna. Are you really going to use the juicer?
Do we wanted to put the sauna in our bedroom?
Do we need another kitchen appliance? I did want to. Jonathan uses the sauna just as much as I do, if not more. Juicer every day, all the things. So I love the answer to your question, but have you actually learned anything new?
Have I learned anything new about you?
Mm-hmm. Or about us? I mean, it's been a good 55, 60 days, just me and you. We haven't seen another soul except for our niece Isabella for an hour.
I feel like I've rubbed off on you more than usual because of this concentrated amount of time you've been with me.
In what way?
You are doing your laundry more consistently.
Probably because you got rid of my big laundry basket and now I have a small one. So I have to.
Yeah. And it's working.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you're cleaning the kitchen regularly.
True. Because we haven't had our housekeepers because they can't come.
Why can't you just accept these things as like you're kicking ass?
No, it's good.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I want to keep it that way.
So I'm taking credit for it. I'm rubbing off on you. And that's why these things are happening.
Love it.
Have I learned anything? Well, just reassured confidence that you're the cutest person I've ever met in my entire life.
Why are you the best?
It's true. You're just the cutest.
What do I do that's cute?
Like it'll be 11 o'clock in the morning, in like the late morning, but for Jordan, it'll be 11 o'clock in the morning. She'll be in bed with her like blue light glasses on and her laptop just typing away like frivolously. That was
furiously. Typing furiously.
Furious and frivolously.
Okay.
Frivolous.
Anyways,
I'll just catch a glimpse of you working, and it's just really cute because you're like in bed with the covers up, squeakies at your feet. Yes. You're typing like a million words per second.
You're finally
you won't even notice me sometimes. I'll be like making faces for 5 minutes.
I get very in the zone.
Yeah.
Okay, so you learned something.
Yeah.
Kind of. And we've also been doing TikToks together.
We have been doing TikToks. TikToks have been fun.
TikToks have been the most fun. How do you feel about the fact that I've had multiple people say to me, I love you, Jordan, but Jonathan on TikTok is the best thing I've ever seen?
Because I'm great.
Yeah. How do you feel about it?
I mean, when we film these scenes, I'm a one take. I'm done. Just one and done.
You're a one take wonder.
Pro.
I feel like Jonathan was made for TikTok because you can memorize things extremely fast when it comes to lyrics and words and moves, choreography, and you just have very good rhythm.
Thank you.
It's true.
And I know what the kids like.
You do. Jonathan had a TikTok go viral, just saying. Like back before all of us people our age were hopping on TikTok, Jonathan had a TikTok go viral back then, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I downloaded the app. I put one video up and then I quit because it went viral.
And then you quit because you couldn't top it.
Yeah.
But it got like 300,000 views and it was just a video of sneakers.
Not just any sneakers.
What sneakers?
My 903 New Balance.
Yes, you and the man at the gas station.
Yeah.
Which was so cute.
Every person 65 years of age or older has a pair of 903s.
And Jonathan.
And me.
That was pretty cool. Well, if you guys listening have not checked out our TikTok videos, they're pretty good. We are having a lot of fun. I'm actually sad that we have to take a break during my water fast when I'm not home because I feel like we're just on a TikTok roll.
We are on a TikTok roll, and I just looked at my shoes, and they're the 990s. My bad, people. 990s.
Okay, 990s. If you want to look up the 65 men and older shoes plus Jonathan.
Yes, and It will be sad, but I'm going to be visiting you twice a week. So
At least twice a week.
At least twice a week.
Yes. Yeah. So by the time everybody here is listening to this, I will be gone. I will not be home. But you know what? I will be healing. And that will be a very good thing. So that's something else that I wanted to get into with you.
And you made a promise to me.
Oh, that I'm not going to pick my face.
Yes.
If anybody else out there picks their face, you know the struggle. It's like, it is such a deeply ingrained habit. It is so hard for me to break.
Yeah. And you're going to break it.
No, I'm not. Oh, never mind. I thought you meant I was going to break the promise. I'm not going to break the promise. I'm going to break the habit.
You're going to break the habit.
Okay. So next question for you, since I'm going to be away healing. I was wondering if you could tell us, we're looking at Huddy. Sorry, guys, we're distracted by our perfect cat. What is it like to be with somebody who is healing from Lyme, chronic illness? Because I know we have a lot of people listening who are in that position. And
I feel like every time I'm on, you ask me some version of this question.
I knew you were going to say that, but I was going to say a lot has changed. So give us an updated answer.
Same answer.
Well, then give it again.
If you love someone, it doesn't matter if they're sick or not. And you just got to give them a little bit extra love.
But is it ever hard?
Of course it's hard. You're really difficult.
What parts are hard?
What parts are hard? So many.
We're not just talking about me in general. We're talking about Lyme.
Oh. I mean, with your work, you give so much of yourself, and then you also need to give yourself some energy, or as you call them, spoons of energy.
We call them.
Which I've adopted. You only have so many spoons that you can use for a day, and I think you give so many to your work. Arguably, too many. Then
unarguably, I agree.
You give a lot. And then you have to give some to yourself, and then you have to give some to Hudson, and then me. And by the time it's the end of the day, you're toast.
Yeah.
So, I think that it's nice seeing that you're getting some of your energy back. And
it's so exciting.
That's like been the biggest shift. It's the same thing, just, more of you than I've seen in the past. And it's exciting to see you coming back to life.
It's really exciting.
Especially going for walks, working out a lot.
Yeah. I was just going to say my favorite part of this quarantine, hands down, has been our nightly walks. It's been so fun. We've even been running a little bit. You've been running a lot. Very proud of you. Jonathan's a big runner, but you weren't running there for a while.
I know. I had an epiphany.
What was it?
Well, I think one of the things that you know about me is when I need some form of physical outlet of some kind, whether it's rowing, whether it's cleaning, riding my bike, going for a run, doing the sauna, something to balance me out. And I took such a hiatus from running because of my body and giving it the chance to repair itself. But when I was running outside, I forgot how meditative running was for me. And that was one of the reasons I was able to do those really long distance, runs and
because you would run without music or anything. Yeah,
I'd run without music. I used to run 20, 25 miles for training runs. When I was training for ultra, I would bike for 70, 80, 90 miles and then go for a run. And then working go to my out birthday dinner without any music for, long distance, 4, 5, 6 hours sometimes. And for me, I just forgot about how much your mind goes inward during that time. So when I went running the other day, it just felt really good to get that back. I feel like it it brings me back to a time in my life that, is really a changing point in my life. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I love to see you running again. It's definitely part of you. It's something that you love. It's been so fun to have the energy to do a little bit of running with you. But what I've love is our nightly walks. We went on one tonight, walking in the neighborhood that we want to live in at some point, and it's just heaven. It's just been bliss to have all this time together. So I've been loving it. And now to kind of switch over to work stuff, because I always get questions sent in about you. People want to know, what does Jonathan really do for work? Which, yes, I know we've talked about in way long ago episodes with you, but we haven't talked about it in a long time. So what do you do? And also, what are you doing right now? Because obviously the fitness industry has been affected quite a bit by what's going on.
Yeah, two great questions. So when I oversee operations and real estate for Orange Theory Fitness in Los Angeles, Northern California, and Ohio. And then we have studios in Melbourne, Australia. And when we started, we were just in LA. Our ownership group was, because Orange Theory is a franchise. And when we had one studio or two studios or three, it was just managing kind of the expansion of these three turning into four and turning into five. And I was very hands-on. You would see me at the studios a lot. And when we grew from 5 or 6 to 13 and then 14 and then 20 and then now 49, which is crazy. I think 52 is the total number if you include our pipeline as far out as we have it, with locations that are in the works. And that's not even including Australia. My role has shifted, a lot over the last couple of years. And right now, I oversee our construction process. So everything from the execution of our leases all the way to the ribbon cutting of the studio. So as soon as we have an open studio, it's out of my hands.
To the next.
And what's really interesting is I probably haven't been in 85% of the studios that we have in our portfolio.
You haven't even stepped foot? Oh, because of the ones in Ohio. And I feel like you've made your way to all the ones in Northern California.
Yeah. I mean, let me rephrase. When we build out studios, new studios that we are building.
Got it. That makes sense.
There are tons of studios that I have spent so much time and energy and effort building, and then I still have yet to be in it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But
so how's that been to be part of that expansion? Because when you guys started and you had just Brentwood, which is our neighborhood, and I used to go to that studio every day, and that's how we became so close, is that you were literally there every day.
Yeah.
How's it been to be you knew all the members, everyone knew you, and now nobody knows you.
I know.
And you don't know anybody.
It's crazy. I'll walk into a studio and no one knows who I am. And then I'll be at the farmer's market with my brother in Calabasas, and we'll have a booth there. And the employee that's working the booth will be like, Jonathan, it's Ari. And I'm like, I don't know you. And they'll be like, you're my boss. And I'm like, I'm actually not your boss. But that's the way they see me, I guess. And
likewise, sometimes they don't know who you are.
Yeah, and they don't even know who I am.
So you can actually pretend like you're just
which I love to do.
Inquiring member, which you love to do.
No, it is crazy, and it's a good question because it's sad in a lot of ways. I have a lot of mixed feelings, because the feeling of our studio when we just had one, and you had this concentrated effort from so many really amazing people that to a certain extent are diluted now to 49 studios for the people that have been here since the beginning. You know, it's sad if you remember and you're used to seeing me all the time and then you now see me never. The fact that we've grown so much and, you know, the quote unquote corporate component of our franchise, and people feel that it used to be a lot more mom and pop. And it did, because there was less, you know, regulation from corporate on what we can do and what we can't do. And as they've grown to the company that they are now, you know, the only way to grow and scale is consistency. So we've, you know, it's just more of a universal experience. And when you have more of a universal experience, it takes away from that community feel.
Right. But I think there's people who still run that community side of things. Like you have
just going to say
your studio managers who everybody knows. And then just to give everybody an idea, like you and your partners used to work in like a coat closet on the side of the Orange Theory Fitness in Brentwood.
We called it the mafia office because it was an office behind an office.
And it was full of like
inside
water
one
bottles
of our
and like just like extra towels and stuff. And then now you guys have this gorgeous office that overlooks all of Brentwood, all of the West Side, basically. And you have so many people working in there. And it's a beautiful thing to watch the evolution. And you guys should be so proud.
Yeah.
So although I understand the mixed feelings, I feel like you guys are doing the best that you can. So,
well, I you know, with all that being said, community is still so much of who we are.
For sure.
And anybody who walks into any one of our studios will tell you that it's still there and it's thriving, and the managers and the head coaches and the coaches and everybody does a great job. I'm not saying that, like, you know, when we grew, it went away. It's 100%.
I think you just
still
mean
there.
you're not really in it as much.
It's just mixed feelings because I guess I just don't get to be a part of it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so
I get that.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you guys are killing it. And it's so cool to watch. So obviously, back in March, fitness studios around the globe shut down. And especially here in California, it's been a several month shutdown period. So what does that look like for you guys? How's that been?
Yeah, it has been definitely challenging, more challenging for some. And we're lucky because we have partners in Boston. It's a private equity group, and they have a lot of great people that they work with that are high into the, economic changes and everything that's going on in this climate, and getting information well before things are actually happening, which is awesome. And just the consultative understanding of what the best decisions. It's not just like our immediate team making them. We have a lot of help. And I think boutique fitness, 95% of all boutique fitness doesn't really have, that private equity backing and that consultative understanding of what to do. And
I've never heard the word consultative before.
Consultative, like you have people that you consult with.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Clearly, I don't work in the same
field. I
field.
never teach you words. Now
I know.
Now you have me questioning if it's
okay,
even
I just
a word.
Looked it up. It's a word.
Okay.
I was literally starting to question you and think,
Okay.
is he getting too tired over there?
Yeah, the words I teach you are anything that has to do with politics or the economy.
It's so true.
Because I taught you back channeling, and you're like, "That's a word."
I was shocked.
Yeah.
You guys, I was an English major. I pride myself on my vocabulary, but all right, consultative.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I also think that our group, we have such a great relationship with so many boutique fitness companies in Los Angeles, and they really look up to us. They know that we are private equity backed. Paul's background is banking. So, we as a collective, the boutique fitness as a whole, I think, we've shared what we're dealing with and what we're doing. And I think a lot of them are making the right decisions that are in the best interest of their company.
Right.
And
but what does that mean? Like, you're just, what do you mean?
So a lot of decisions need to be made in the fitness industry and the boutique fitness industry right now. The first wave was a complete shutdown, which means none of your studios are generating any revenue. So you still have to pay rent. And if you're not going to fire your employees completely and you're going to put them on furlough, you still have to pay for insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still spending a lot of money just to have zero revenue coming in.
Right.
For months now. So everything comes down to managing your cash or liquidity. So that's really difficult for a lot of small boutique fitness companies. So the name of the game has been working with landlords and working with the government, the PPP, which is the Payment Protection Program, and ensuring that employees will have a job to come back to because their employers have enough money to pay them. So it's just managing. It's like playing chess with everything, that all these new conditions. And I think you're going to see the fitness industry is going to change a great deal.
Yeah, because what I'm wondering, I mean, thank you for all that. That is so informative. And I think is going to answer a lot of people's questions about what's going on behind the scenes with not just your studios, but fitness, the boutique fitness industry. I'm just wondering, when things open back up, like, can your classes be full?
That's the whole other challenge too. When,
do people have to wear masks when they're running?
So yeah, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, kind of in the state of California and here in LA, it's a 3-phase process. Fitness is the third phase or third group that they're going to allow to reopen. So not only have we not been able to generate any revenue over the last couple months as a fitness industry, when we come back, class sizes are going to be reduced by 50%. You're going to have no one to the left and the right of you on a treadmill. You're going to have no one to the left or the right of you on a rower on the floor. I think they're eliminating almost every single floor movement for a little while, and trying to understand what the best practice will be. Every other locker, rotating lockers. So, the odds will be during this one class time, they'll sanitize them, and then.
So things are going to be very different for a while. So yeah, I was talking to Alexi today, who we already mentioned, our good friend, and we were just saying, is it going to be really hard to get into classes after this, or is it going to be really easy? Because is it just going to be so hard because everyone's so excited to get back to it, or is there going to be so many people who are cautious and hesitant? I guess that's the question. I
feel like it's going to be way more of the first. I think
so too.
I think what you're going to see is they have breathable masks that you can use during class. And, people want that routine back. And I feel like our classes, with how much we are restricting access, they will definitely be full. They were already busting at the seams when we had 80 classes on the schedule.
Right. So I totally agree. I'm just talking in general, like yoga studios. I think everybody is going to see that they're going to really be maxing out because people are going to be excited. And I think for every 10 people, there'll be 1 or 2 that are still a little bit frightened to come back and may take a little bit slower. But I would say 8 out of 10 are still going to be very excited to get back. Maybe not at the same frequency, but definitely excited to be getting back at least 1 or 2 workouts a week to kind of, you can't be scared forever, to kind of get them back into that rhythm. Well, that's exciting. That'll be happening somewhat soon by the time this comes out, somewhat, depending on the state, depending on where you live. Okay, so quickly, because our marriage episodes, our wedding episodes, I lost it on my computer. Very sad. I do want to just quickly touch on being married and how you feel about being married. Have things been different? Have things been the same? What has it been like for the last 6 months?
I mean, again, just kind of like my health journey, and I would say like your journey or pretty much anyone's journey in life, it's an evolution.
Yes.
So I think, you decide how you want to evolve. And I think for both of us, we want this to ride out for the long ride, know?
Duh.
So it's just learning more and more about what makes you tick and what not to say and what to say and when to say it. Oh, dear God, when to say it is the big new one I'm learning. Don't bring things up to me
right when I wake up or right when I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, Jordan will be like, hey, so did you do that thing? 1,000. 2. Hey, did you do that thing?
Oh, Jonathan is the king of waiting about like 35 seconds in between things.
I need at least
people
5
who are
or
close
6
to you
seconds.
Can confirm. You wait so long that it's like there's no chance that he heard me.
Maybe I'm in a thought that is currently happening.
You have a unique brain.
I do.
A very unique brain.
I have a unique brain,
and
I'm surprised.
Okay, but isn't it fun to be married?
It is fun.
It's fun. It feels like we're 2 little kids playing house that are actually married. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me.
It's so fun. What it's like
fun?
Being married.
What's the most fun part?
Just the silliness that I love laughing with you.
Me too. We laugh so hard, you guys. Like, I don't think even from this conversation, people can gather how much fun we have and how much you make me laugh and how much we laugh. It's fun.
It is fun.
You guys, we're recording this at almost 11 p.m. and Jonathan's looking tired.
I am tired. It's Saturday night.
Okay, don't hit the gong thing.
I want to hear the sound.
Okay, but do it. But I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's a sound bath.
Woosah. Can I lead everybody through a quick meditation?
Sure, if you do it for actual.
I will.
Okay, quick.
Okay. Everybody take one long, deep inhale through the nose. Hold it at the top there. And lion's breath out the mouth. I'm going to hit the gong thing. Close your eyes if they weren't already. And picture yourself on a cloud. Just floating through the air. And oh shit, you fell. You fell through the cloud.
You did not just do that. I thought we were all going to get like a nice, peaceful meditation.
Do you think that messed with some people?
100%. It messed with me. So you already got one person.
Well, you're talking about jokes and it's late.
He's funny. You're funny.
All right.
Everybody listening, if you were in a peaceful meditative state, just go right back to that place. Just don't mind my husband.
But that is life. You'll be peacefully meditating.
Such is life.
Yes.
Such is life. It's true. Okay, so we're just going to do a couple rapid fires. You've answered a lot of these in the past. You've been on like 3 or 4 times. I've been able to wrangle you.
I love the rapid fires. Are they all new?
Some of them are new.
Okay.
So sun, rising, and moon signs.
I'd never know this.
You do, though.
No.
Okay, but what part? You obviously know your sun sign. Your zodiac sign
is Leo.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know your moon.
Pisces moon.
He is a Pisces moon, people.
Pisces moon.
Through and through. And now we finally know you're a Virgo rising.
Virgo.
Which makes so much sense as an earth sign, grounded earth sign. You are literally the epitome of a Virgo rising, which is the perfect counterbalance to my Aquarius rising.
Cool.
My Cancer moon. And
can you just send me an email on what all of this means?
I will 100% do that. I mean, you guys, when we read about Pisces moons, it was pretty alarming how similar it was to Jonathan. It felt like we were actually just reading about him. So, Jonathan, you can attest to that. You are such a Pisces moon. Where do you see yourself in 20 years?
Good question. 20 years. Here in Los Angeles, Malibu, Palisades, Brentwood, definitely West Side. West Side.
Woo!
Some kids.
How many?
I mean, however many you want.
Tell me.
However many you want.
But you know how many.
I mean, we talk about 3, but maybe you want 2. Maybe you want 4. Maybe we're going to have 17.
Maybe I do want 4. Maybe I want 5.
I don't know. We'll see. Just tell me whatever you want.
Get started.
So kids, house, just my own company. And just, yeah.
I love it. Well, I can't wait.
Anything you want to add to that? Because it's our life.
It is our life. We're going to have a beautiful home, maybe on the ocean, maybe still here in Brentwood, which we love, up in the neighborhoods where we love to walk. Happily married, happily loving life, close to our families. We have our kids. Life is good. I'm going to have a lot of books out. That's going to be fun. You're going to be such a good dad. Such a ridiculously good dad. And we're going to have a couple dogs, if I know us. Maybe one. And Huddy's just going to be our old man kitty by then. Because he's never, ever, ever leaving. He's part of the fam for life. Yeah, that sounds amazing. So if you were an animal, what animal would you be?
I'd be a dog.
You're such a dog. You're such a puppy soul. You're also a monkey. What's the hardest thing you've ever been through?
Hardest thing I've ever been through was, it's hard to pick just one thing. And I think it just depends on the day. But the hardest thing I've ever had to go through, I think, was seeing my dad struggle. When the .com market crashed and then the real estate market crashed, and he also had a company amidst all this, and that company didn't make it. And there was a point where, everything looked very bleak for our family, and it taught my brother and I a lot. And it made my brother and I who we are today. So my dad paid the ultimate price to teach his kids, what grit and hard work really take to make it, and just smart decision making. So that was probably the biggest thing hardest thing I've ever went through.
Well, you and your brother could not be more well-adjusted and successful and strong and amazing. So it paid off.
Thanks, Dad.
It's true. And your parents are the best ever. If you had the chance to meet anybody, who would you want to meet?
That is a tough question. I could meet anybody?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like hang out?
Hang out.
Huh.
Have dinner.
Man, probably Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf, you love him.
I mean, he just doesn't give a fuck.
He is your style icon.
He's my style icon. Yeah. Fit God. He also just doesn't give a fuck, and he seems like he'd be cool.
He does. He also has like a sensitive emotional side to him, as we learned when we were watching his hot sauce interview.
I know, and you've been watching Hot Ones this quarantine.
It's true. Oh my God, that was this quarantine. That seems like a year ago.
Yeah.
But you're right. God, we've been in quarantine for a while.
It's been a while.
Okay.
There are other people on that list. He's
Eminem.
Just the first that came to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Eminem, Royce the 5'9", Dr. Dre, John Mayer would be fun.
So fun.
I mean, if there were a lot like dead people, like Marcus Garvey would be cool.
I don't know who that is.
Just a political activist from like the 1920s.
Amazing. Did you see him in Boardwalk Empire?
He wasn't in Boardwalk Empire, but he may have been mentioned
Cool.
at one point.
Okay, so to piggyback off of that question, the chance to meet anybody, if you could hang out with like actually, how do I phrase this? So I was going to say like, who is your celebrity crush or like blogger crush or anything? And if you could hang out with them, who would they be?
I mean, Melissa Wood would be dope.
Melissa Wood. We love her.
She's adorable. She's so
cool.
adorable.
I mean,
it makes me sick.
Next level.
Makes me sick. She'll be doing like a perfect like yoga pose with her 2 kids just like climbing on her. And she
has mom goals. She has life goals. She's human goals. She's so nice.
Yeah.
So down to earth.
She's pretty cool. Jessica Alba. Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah, she's just perfect.
Good choices, my love.
Yeah.
Did you mean Jessica Biel?
No.
Oh.
But Jessica Biel could hang out with us.
Because you love her too.
Wouldn't be mad about that.
We loved her in The Sinner. So what has been your favorite part or the best part of quarantine?
Favorite part, best part of quarantine, undisputed heavyweight champion, our 6:30 p.m. walks. Every night, no matter what, we walk, we clear our heads, we get to see the sun go down. It's beautiful. We walk down San Vicente, which is stunning. We get to walk into these super beautiful, nice neighborhoods that we will one day live.
Mm-hmm.
And just talking about our life and just being appreciative how much goodness is in it. And, you know, I'm just really grateful. I remember that one conversation we had where we played out the scenario of our life if we never met each other. And
yes, that was
mine
so
was
fun.
Depressing.
I know. Jonathan is very, very, very good at talking about hypotheticals in a way, even though you hate talking about hypotheticals. But we had this whole conversation about what if we hadn't met and what if we hadn't started dating. And so kind of like the last 3 or 4 years of your life, last 3 or 4 years of my life, yours was sad.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was accurate.
It's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Workaholic, just going down the rabbit's hole, having no one to take care of me.
My love.
So, thanks for saving me.
Thanks for saving me.
Yeah.
We're lucky. Okay. And to just finish us off, why don't we finish with, since this is the Soul on Fire podcast, what does soul on fire mean to you? And what are your tips for people listening to set their soul on fire?
Soul on fire means to me that just do you.
Mm-hmm.
Just do whatever makes you happy.
Love it.
And give no fucks.
0 fucks.
Yeah. And what sets my soul on fire? I love what I do. And I mean that like both from a work, like fitness, everything I do that keeps me happy and sane. Just living that motto of just like, do what makes you happy.
I love it.
I don't like engaging in anything negative and, you know, just rid yourself of any negativity once you realize that you have the freedom to do that and you actually do it, then you'll see that your life is just going to be way better. So.
It's true. And you have taught me that too, to just like never engage in negativity. If I ever am saying something a little bit negative about someone, even a total stranger, Jonathan will stop me. Like he will not be a part of it. And I love that about you because I believe very deeply in how we feel about others is how we actually feel about ourselves. So every time you stop me, I'm like, wait, yeah, maybe it's just something about me that I need to go inward. And you keep me positive. You keep me happy.
And before we sign off, I just want to let everybody know that's on this platform that is listening, that you're listening for a really good reason because you recognize something in Jordan that I recognize. And it's just this authentic, natural, unapologetic, vulnerable beautiful person that gives so much of herself, arguably too much, to everybody that she knows and that she loves. And, you guys keep her just, I don't know where she would be without you guys. So thank you for supporting her and loving her like I do. And thank you, Bev, for being just who you are, because I have the best life ever.
We have the best life ever. And that's true. I do not know where I would be without our incredible listeners and the TBB tribe. I am a lucky girl. So I second that. Thank you guys. And thank you, my love, for coming on, for opening your heart and sharing with us. You're the best.
Can we cue the music now? Is it the exit music?
Yeah, cue the music. Woo! All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode with Jonathan, my amazing husband. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope you learned a few things about him, about us, about Orange Theory. He's the best. He is such a truly down-to-earth and amazing person. And I love to be able to share him with you guys and brag about him any chance that I can get. And I know quarantine has been an interesting time for all relationships. We are newlyweds. We're loving this time together. Obviously, it hasn't been perfect. There have been many, many learnings along the way. And there were probably thousands of other stories we could have told and gotten into. But what can you do? With an hour, we're just going to say as much as we can. Yeah. And like I said in the intro, we recorded this at night, the night before I'm leaving town, because I am so committed to getting episodes out to you guys, and also just have been dying to have him on. And I hope you enjoyed. So thank you to our sponsor, Go Macro. Check them out. Use that code BLONDE for 30% off. And you can support the Animal Sanctuary, Farm Sanctuary by ordering from them in the month of May. Join our Soul on Fire podcast tribe on Facebook. And if you feel inspired to rate and review the show, send me a screenshot of your rating and review to jordan@thebalancedblonde.com, and I will send you a free gift as a thank you. And lastly, I hope everybody's doing well. If you want a real meditation and not a Jonathan meditation where he shook us all into being scared at the end of his little meditation, then check out some of my previous episodes talking about Corona and how to stay calm and how to stay inspired and feeling nice and meditative during this time, and how to cope with the anxiety. And then if you're interested in hearing more episodes with Jonathan, head to our previous episodes. I think one of the last ones we did together was our ayahuasca journey. So if you're interested in hearing about the spiritual life and how Jonathan deals with it and has become interested in it himself, check out that episode. And yeah, we also have an episode from before we started dating, which is episode 11, I think, of the show back in 2016. We started dating like 2 days later. So yeah, super fun. Come say hi on TikTok, The Balanced Blonde. Come say hi on the podcast. I mean, we're on the podcast. Oh my God, clearly I'm tired. Come say hi on Instagram, all the places. I love you guys. Thank you for being here, and we will talk next week. Mwah.